Wine critics. For better or for worse, these tastemakers don't just drink wine, they could very well define its legacy. With their discerning palates, sharp critiques, and influence over collectors, sommeliers, and casual sippers, they can make or break a bottle's reputation with a single score. But who are the most trusted voices in the industry? In this video, we'll uncork the profiles of the top 10 wine critics who hold sway over the global wine scene. Welcome to the Filipino YouTube channel, where we create wine education videos for beginners and wine lovers. Before we begin, let's talk a little bit about wine scores. Wine scores are numerical ratings assigned by critics to evaluate the quality of a wine, in many cases on a 100-point scale. These scores serve as a shorthand guide for consumers, collectors, and industry professionals to gauge a wine's overall excellence, age-worthiness, and potential value. The value of wine scores depends on who is scoring, how the wine is assessed, and your personal preferences. They act as a quick quality indicator, help with buying decisions, and have a huge market influence that can drive pricing, demand, and availability. However, there is controversy when it comes to wine critics and their scores, but we'll cover that specific topic at the end. So, without further ado, we'll start with quite possibly the most recognizable name in wine scoring: Robert Parker. Robert Parker is one of the most influential wine critics in modern history. He revolutionized the wine industry with his 100-point rating system, which became the gold standard for wine evaluations. His influence was so significant that a high score from him could dramatically boost a wine's price and reputation. Robert Parker founded the Wine Advocate in 1978. He gained much recognition for his assessments of the 1982 vintage of Bordeaux, which he championed before many others recognized the vintage's greatness. His influence on wine is so powerful that many winemakers in Bordeaux, Napa Valley, and Rhone Valley began producing more fruit-forward, highly extracted, oak-influenced wines to cater to his palate, which was eventually coined as the Parkerization of wine. Robert Parker stepped back from active reviewing in the mid-2010s. He sold the majority stake of the Wine Advocate to a Singapore-based group. Robert Parker eventually retired from the Wine Advocate in 2019, though his 100-point system and influence remain embedded in the industry. Jancis Robinson. Jancis Robinson is one of the most respected wine critics in the world. Compared to Robert Parker, Jancis Robinson's palate favors balance, complexity, and diversity in wine styles. She became the first person outside of the wine trade to achieve the prestigious Master of Wine title in 1984. She also founded JancisRobinson.com, a subscription-based website featuring wine reviews and analysis. Jancis Robinson has played a major role in demystifying wine for consumers while maintaining a deep level of expertise. She is well known for writing the Oxford Companion to Wine and co-authoring the World Atlas of Wine, two of the most popular books in the wine industry. As opposed to every other wine critic on our list, she uses a 20-point scale to critique wines instead of a 100-point scoring system. James Suckling. James Suckling is one of the most prominent wine critics today. He is known for his high scores, concise tasting notes, and focus on approachability. James Suckling began his wine career as a journalist for Wine Spectator in 1981, where he spent nearly 30 years as a lead critic. He left Wine Spectator in 2010 and started JamesSuckling.com, which he publishes thousands of wine ratings annually. He is known for quick and efficient tastings, sometimes rating hundreds of wines per day. Like Robert Parker, James Suckling uses the 100-point scale. Some may balk at times at his generous scoring, but his system has gained a strong following in both the wine trade and with consumers. Antonio Galloni. Antonio Galloni is a highly esteemed wine critic who gained prominence as Robert Parker's protege at the Wine Advocate. He then became known around the world as the critic who founded Venice. Antonio studied at MIT, later pursued finance, then moved into wine journalism. He founded the Piedmont Report, which focused on Italian wines, and this ultimately caught the attention of Robert Parker. He was hired at the Wine Advocate to cover Italian wines, but he later expanded to other regions. He eventually became Robert Parker's successor for California wines. In 2013, he founded Venice, a digital-first wine review platform. In 2014, Antonio acquired Stephen Tanzer's International Wine Cellar, further strengthening his publication. Antonio Galloni and Venice use the 100-point scale, but tend to be more restrained in giving high scores compared to others. He's considered one of the most thoughtful and intellectual wine critics, with a measured and analytical approach. Tim Atkin. Tim Atkin is a highly respected British wine critic and journalist with over 35 years of experience. Like Jancis Robinson, he holds one of the most prestigious qualifications in the wine world, the Master of Wine. He is a notable contributor to top publications such as Decanter Magazine, The World of Fine Wine, and The Drinks Business. He is an international wine judge and hosts masterclasses and educational talks. He is an independent wine critic who uses the 100-point scoring system and does not rely on advertising from wineries. He is a strong advocate of South African and Argentinian wine. You can find his published wine reports and reviews on timatkin.com. Alan Meadows. Alan Meadows is one of the world's most reliable wine critics, well known for his expertise in Burgundy. He is the founder of Berghound.com, one of the world's most detailed wine review platforms for Burgundy, although he does cover other regions. He started his career as a financial executive before switching to wine full-time. He uses the 100-point scale. However, he scores conservatively. Although his main focus is Burgundy, he also evaluates Pinot Noir from Oregon and California, Rhone Valley, and Champagne. He is known for his detailed long-term vintage analysis and gains exclusive insights into Burgundy's top domains. He is one of the most trusted voices in fine wine criticism. Neal Martin. Neal Martin is another respected British wine critic who is known for his detailed yet entertaining approach to wine reviews. In 2013, he founded Wine Journal, his personal wine blog which gained a lot of attention. In 2006, he joined the Wine Advocate and became Robert Parker's right-hand man in Burgundy and Bordeaux. He then moved on to Venice in 2018, where he became the lead critic in Burgundy, Bordeaux, South Africa, and New Zealand. Unlike other critics, his reviews can not only be insightful but entertaining and sometimes humorous. He uses the 100-point scale and is one of the top authorities on Bordeaux's En Primeur barrel tastings. He also authored the book Pomerol, a comprehensive book on the Pomerol wine appellation in Bordeaux. Lisa Perrotti-Brown. Lisa Perrotti-Brown is a leading voice in global wine criticism. She earned her Master of Wine in 2008. She was the editor-in-chief at the Wine Advocate and replaced Robert Parker as the lead critic in the highly coveted wine regions of Napa Valley and Bordeaux. She worked at the Wine Advocate from 2013 to 2021 until she launched her own wine publication called The Wine Independent in 2022. The Wine Independent is an ad-free, independently funded wine publication where she uses the 100-point scale. Her scoring is known to be precise, balanced, and fair. She has also authored the book Taste Like a Wine Critic in 2015. Jeb Dunnuck. Jeb Dunnuck is a leading American wine critic whose scores are published all throughout retailers, restaurants, and websites. Jeb Dunnuck was originally an aerospace engineer before starting a career in wine writing. He founded The Rhone Report in 2008, which gained much recognition. He then joined Robert Parker's The Wine Advocate in 2013, until he launched his own independent, subscription-based wine review site, jebdunnuck.com. Jeb Dunnuck is an expert in Rhone and California wines, and he is trusted in his reviews of Syrah, Grenache, and Cabernets from these regions. He is known for his high scores on top-tier wines, with an influence that could move markets. He also uses the 100-point scale, providing straightforward tasting notes as opposed to overly technical descriptions. John Gilman. John Gilman is a reliable wine critic and journalist known for his traditionalist approach to wine reviewing. Gilman founded View from the Cellar in 2006, a bi-monthly wine publication. He is a strong advocate of traditional winemaking and avoids highly extracted and heavily oaked wines, preferring wines with finesse, balance, and long aging potential. He reviews wines with an eye on long-term aging, such as serious Burgundy and Bordeaux wines. However, he does cover underrated regions such as the Loire Valley, Alsace, and Rioja. He uses a conservative 100-point scale, writes detailed essay-style reviews, and gives guidance to cellaring potential and drinking windows. And that's our top 10 wine critics. Please note that wine critics and scores are not without controversy. A high score doesn't always mean you'll enjoy the wine. First off, wine scores are subjective, as a consumer's appreciation for wine is based on personal preference, and a critic's taste may not match your own. Another major flaw is scoring bias, as some critics favor certain styles, regions, and even producers. Lastly, one scoring issue is that many scores are based on a one-time evaluation. At the Phil of Pinot YouTube channel, our advice is this. Scores can be a helpful guide, but the best way to determine how valuable a wine is to taste it yourself. If wine drinkers and collectors rely solely on a wine rating system when buying wine, there is an opportunity to miss many hidden gems in the wine world.